This
born today.
conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, July 9th, 2024 meeting of the Tilton Planning Board. Is this on? Yep. Let's see. First on our agenda is a site plan review. Winnisquam Boats LLC, Planning Board case number 24-09, map U01, lots 13. Redevelop property with new boat storage buildings. We should have that application in our packets.
Make a motion to bring the application to the board.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion, brighter. Motion passes. Just for that, it wasn't that easy. So, all right, so now we can look at the application here. I feel like I'm missing some information.
We don't have we had a print sent to us, but there's not a print in the package. I assume we're going to be given a print.
That's what I want.
And
Well, I think it's on.
Yeah,
but it's a little.
yeah, but that's not it. That's just pictures.
we don't have the site plans. And if the stormwater management plan is another document, I'm not sure we have that. I know it's covered in the checklist for the Conservation Commission, but I believe that's a separate document as well.
Is that the site plan?
You have a roll set, complete plan set.
What's the date on that, Ed?
It was sent to us in email because it was too large or something like that.
Maybe that's right.
Yeah, it said too large, and that's why it was in our email or something.
Yeah, Pat sent them.
Yeah, they're very small, but
I sent them.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I just want to,
we only have the one.
where it is, Winnisquam Boats. There we go.
You want to just turn it around and you all can come here?
Turn.
Or put it on that desk and you all can... Well, are they putting it, are they going to put it on an overhead?
It is. Yep, I have it electronically here.
Yeah. I'm
They
looking.
put it on the overhead. If we need to look, we can get up and look.
Did the Conservation Commission have comments on this
We have a
project?
form.
They,
Well, I know I
They,
saw the application, but I don't see that there's any comments from the Conservation Commission.
The Conservation Commission had comments on the zoning. They went to the zoning board for variances.
Uh-huh.
They had comments at that. I can get you a copy of that if you'd like
That'd be
during the
great.
zoning board.
Great, thank you.
Just gonna slide this.
It's not required for this. It's only floodplain, I think it's required, but I don't think it is for this. But still be interesting to see if they had
My
any
eyes are getting
concerns.
old. I can usually read them. I read them on my computer, but then trying to read it on your phone is. No, thanks.
Existing.
This is existing conditions. All right. So this is a wood story. All right, and the two or
Have we
three up there.
accepted the application?
No,
I'm
I'm
still
going through
reading.
it. Still going through it to.
There's 2 applications though, so I think the site plan one we can.
This is groundwater protection, and then there's.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm doing the one for the groundwater protection now.
I'll make a motion for the application forms, site plan and subdivision as substantially complete.
And I'll second that.
motion is second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
I make a motion to bring the application for conditional use permit to the board.
And I'll second that.
Application.
Oh, yeah, sorry. The motion is second,
Yep, she did.
seconded by Jane. Any discussion?
It's not signed.
Am I on the first page?
No.
Mm-mm.
Where'd Pat go?
Our copies aren't signed.
Yeah. I want to see if she has a signed copy.
Where'd she go?
I think she's getting the zoning stuff.
Oh, okay.
She's getting
The
comments from the
Conservation
Conservation.
Gotcha.
Oh.
I asked.
This page. Is that the? Okay. Do you have, this is not signed?
You have a signed
Do
copy?
you have a signed copy?
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a signed copy of that? Do we have a signed copy of that application?
I'm looking.
Oh, sorry.
No, we do not.
So,
Do we either have them sign it now or it's not?
Well, she can sign. She's the one who did it, right?
yeah, we can have them sign it now.
Yeah. We have a signed copy. I'll keep this with the
Sure.
file.
Thank you. So we do have a signed copy now.
We do.
That's always a good thing.
Well, when they say cross your T's and dot your I's, get a urine sample and a blood sample and a copy of his license. Oh, just kidding. Any other discussion on the?
Not for me.
I took it. You took it away from me. Now I don't know what we're approving.
We're on the application for the,
No, there was special. Thank you. Sorry. The application for conditional use permit, groundwater protection. Right, that's the one we're on.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
a,
So she has a signed copy. We have a second. If we didn't have a signed copy, we now have a signed copy.
So I think we can accept it at this point.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. All right. The floor is yours. Tell us what you're going to do. We kind of have an idea, but
I'm Cindy Terrio with Wilcox and Barton, representative for Winnie Boats. This is Ed Crawford, the owner of Winnie Boats, and we're going to do a little redevelopment. I'm going to just pull up here our plan set so we can talk to it.
just for clarification for my own self, is Winnie Boats different than Winnisquam Marine?
So it's Winnie Boats is the property
Microphone.
owner.
Okay. Oh, we just need your microphone. I'm sorry. You have to be in a microphone when you speak because it gets recorded.
Winnie Boats is the owner of the property,
Okay.
and Winnisquam Marine is the operator of the business.
I
Is that
got you.
correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
hold
no.
it just in case you have to
yeah.
talk.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, this one here?
It's the same
Okay.
person, but-
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I can see it here. That's what I want. There we are. All right, so Winnie, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. There we go.
This is what we got.
Okay, the property is located at 1003 Laconia Road in Tilton, which is next to the Lobster Connection, just before the bridge to, is it Belmont? I believe it's Belmont. It's an existing property run by Ed Crawford. I'm going to let him introduce himself and what he does there, and talk a little bit about the why and the operations of the property. And then I'll go into the detail about what we're proposing to change for the site plan. That work? You want to do the pictures?
Yeah. So I'm Ed Crawford. I'm the owner, but really it's my family, my wife, Sheila, and my 2 kids, Ryan and Julie. We're all there. We're there every day, pretty much. And we started the marina, not this facility, but over in Belmont in 1977. So we've been around for a while. And we bought this property in 2012. I also have 4 grandchildren that work at the marina. So this facility, we bought it from Jim Aberg again in 2012. It was pretty run down. There hasn't been a lot of over the years because this was developed in 1989. Not a lot of, these buildings are from the 60s. I think that building right there is from the 50s. We just did a pretty good sized project on the docks. We had approval from the state, and we did to do a new dock complex. It was in pretty rough shape, getting to where it was a safety concern. The boards were in really rough shape. So that was completed over the winter, and that came out great. So now we want to do the land portion, because this is, especially this building that you see over here, this is an open rack storage building, but I'm going to show you a picture of a newer one, because that's a horrible looking rack storage building that's well past its. In fact, we're not using it anymore because it's showing its age. So our idea is to, and as you see, Cindy will show you more, but running down both sides of the property to run boat storage buildings down both sides. And during the summer, we'll launch valet boats out of them. And then during the winter, we'll store boats in them. So the buildings actually get used year round. There's been a big need for that in the Lakes region. So this is what I'm going to call the north side of the property. There's an old fiberglass detailing shop. There's a shop where we do cleanups on new boats, and then there's the old rack storage building there. Wow. I'm trying. Okay, there's a close-up of the horrible building. And this is from the water side. So again, this is an older style building. It has a very steep roof. They don't do that anymore. It's a much easier slope on the top of the building. And this is on the other side of the property. So briefly, this taller portion will stay there, but we'll have constructs remove the siding, the roof, and the insulation, and we'll have them, re-side it, re-roof it, insulate it. That'll be, we're calling it storage showroom. There's no service done on this property at all. This is 100%. I'm going to call boat storage. The smaller, this is our restroom facility. Wow. Right here. That'll stay there.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. You said restroom facility?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we have to, we
But
have,
this says currently there are no septic or drainage systems on the property, nor any proposed for the project. So does that, my
there's,
question is, are you connected to sewer?
yes, we are. There's
Okay.
no septic.
Okay.
Yep. It's all gravity sewer. Yep. And it's an artesian well, a drilled well.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep. I think that might be the last one here. Okay, and so here's a pretty good shot as you're standing on Route 3 looking down the yard. So as you can see on the left-hand side, that's will be one long building that will end up being just about, I believe, the length of what's there. We're staying back from the front setback there. And those will all be taken down. Those will all be demolished in one long building. On the right-hand side, you have the taller building that's going to stay there. And then behind it, there's a shorter rack storage building that runs down that side. It does not go all the way to the water, though. And okay, and that's the last one there.
On your demolition plan,
Yes.
it says that building is going to be demolished.
Right.
Yep.
The lower portion is.
So this,
Oh, the back.
this front taller portion is going to remain, and then this back part of it is going to be demolished.
Okay, because it just says south section of building to be demolished. So,
This is something.
okay, I got you now.
South section.
Yeah.
Actually,
This
inside.
building has also pretty much lived its useful life because it's the insulation and there's a lot of squirrels in there and things. So it's time to start over there. So how do I get to the picture of that was on the original file? Yep, that's it. Okay. So here, so I also own, my family also purchased the former Channel Marine over in Winnipesaukee, and we have a storage facility there. So this is very similar to what we would build. It's 4 stories tall. We did just go before the zoning board and get a variance for the height because we wanted to go 5 feet higher than what your town allowed. But that's about the depth of it. It's about the height. You can see how it doesn't have that crazy roof on it. This is the longer one. So this would be down what I'm going to call the north side. The forklift operates boats coming out of this building. There is cars. We've designed it so that cars park underneath it. We made the bays 10 feet wide, which 10 feet per vehicle. So that, and the bays are too wide, so it's 20 feet clear, so that there's lots of room to park the cars underneath. That's very popular down south for boat storage. So during the summer, parking is in the bottom, and there's three levels of boats above it. I think when you see it with the boats running down both sides of the property, we've got letters from both abutters that they, one side is Sailview, which is Craig and Doug, and they sent a letter that they didn't that they didn't have any concerns. And on the other side is Shady Grove Condo. Steve Chassie is the president, and he didn't have any concerns. He sent the letter and all. So they're not going to have any light. We believe we don't need to have an emergency egress door in the back of the building. So there's no reason to have, because the front is open, so there won't be any lighting on the on everything we're going to do is going to be dark sky. On and it'll be contained. I mean, the two buildings will contain the lighting, so it's not going to add any more lighting into our neighbors. The facility really gets used from Memorial Day is typically when things get going in the boating world, and it runs typically briskly till Labor Day, and then there is a little bit of action till Columbus Day, and after Columbus Day, really anything that's on the lake, needs to be stored.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The parking on the bottom, is that for the customers that are coming to use their boats?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Is
Yeah.
the number of spaces of cars the same number of boats?
No, because you never have the same amount. There's around 90 racks that are around that are used, because you don't get to use the bottom level, okay, because it's parking. So the ratio, like on Winnipesaukee, we have right now 176 valets on Winnipesaukee, and like today we had 13 people launch. A busy weekend there, we get 60, something like that. Sometimes 64, 69, like on July 4th. It's not the ratio. It's sometimes we're amazed that more people aren't there using their boats because they pay around, it's around $4,000, $4,500 for a valet. We've approximated that to be 25 to 35 on a busy day, and this will have 31, 19, and 12, so 31. So there's 31 parking spots right here, plus there's additional parking on the property.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask. You have to know the what ifs. If you
Yes.
happen to have, where would they park?
Yes. Yep. Plus they actually, there's actually going to be right in front of the building. It's going to be striped there, and that's the pathway that the customers take when they get out of their cars walking towards the waterfront, because that way the operator of the fork truck always has them in his vision. They're not behind them, they're in front of him. So the safety walkways, like crosswalks, it'll be like a crosswalk.
And then I saw snow storage is behind building C or D.
Yep.
Is that on the water side?
Well, that's away from the water. I should let.
Yeah, do you want me to pull up the plan?
Sure.
We'll pull up the plan and go through the plan. So the snow storage is proposed, basically here, and the water's here. This is the 50-foot. Can you hear me? Okay. This is
but the flag.
The flag's in the way.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, so the snow storage is where?
This starred area in the
Okay.
green here, and then this is 50-foot line from the reference line from the lake.
Okay, so it is on the water side.
Behind that, but it is on the water side. Yes.
And then I saw a couple concerns from the conservation. One, you're going to have, I see the fueling station for the forklift. And then the boats bringing in invasive plants. My other question would be, so that's like 2. And then if a boat is leaking and it's in storage, what happens? I mean, is there
Let me do that
protection?
Thanks.
I can do that one.
Okay.
So I have a biology degree, and in college I studied limnology, which is freshwater biology, and then somehow I ended up starting a marina. So
Go figure.
so let's address. So number 2 was
The fuel.
okay. So that's as far away as we can put it from the waterfront, and the concrete actually gets grooved, and that retains any fuel that might spill. And it's as far away as it can be from the lake.
What do you do with the spillage?
So,
Just leave it there?
so it would be diesel fuel,
Yeah.
and you'd use mats, and then those are disposed of.
Mats.
Concrete is porous.
Oh boy, I don't. Well, and you probably know a lot about concrete, but
That's right.
But it's not that porous. It's a lot less porous than asphalt and grass is.
I'll give you that.
Okay. Okay. So, and it's a pump. That pumps like 10 gallons a minute in the back of a pickup truck. And that's what we fuel it with. So it's not a great big overhead thing that, diesel fuel comes flying out of.
When you put the pump back, are you going to have a pad under the pump part? Because that drips.
So that's in the truck.
Oh, okay.
So that leaves. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And so let's say you were doing, and I don't know, you weren't paying attention. It doesn't have a clicker. So you have to hold it.
Okay.
So if you let it go, it shuts off. And, yeah, sometimes it drips a couple drips, but it's nothing appreciable, at all.
Okay.
Let's see. So dark sky,
Number 5,
number 5.
milfoil and
Milfoil.
invasive.
Okay.
It's a big
So,
problem.
so milfoil gets introduced to the lakes by boats coming from other lakes and being usually put in at launch ramps. So it's introduced. So that's why they have, ramp watchers. The boats here stay here. They're not being transported. There's a forklift ramp, but customers can't back down boats on trailers into a boat ramp because we don't have one. So there's no way to introduce milfoil here. Okay. And over at our marina, we're very conscious. We get along. We know Sarah Johnson and Amy Shmagula with the state. We had the first boat wash basin that back then it was a filter bed. So that was in the 80s. Jody Connors got us to do the first one. And now you can't put water into the groundwater anymore. So last year, actually at this facility 2 years ago, we did a brand new boat wash basin where it gets diverted into the Winnipesaukee River Basin project. There's a switching valve, and when fall comes around and you wash boats, all the water it goes through a big 1,000-gallon sediment oil separator grit tank, and then it goes into the project. So, and that's where all the service is done. And that was a question later on here that they asked about. So there's no service done at this facility. Okay. Boats are brought over, they come out of the water, they're washed, they're winterized, they're put on a trailer, they're brought across the bay, then the forklift picks it up and puts it in the rack.
So if you have like an old boat and it has leaks, do you notify the client that they can't put their boat there, or they have to get it fixed?
So,
Just like cars, you're going to store boats and there's
right.
antiques.
Right. So when you say leaks, you mean like leaking oil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like
So boats since 1973 are regulated by the Coast Guard, and their fuel systems they have very stringent specifications. Like it has to be a solid line with an anti-siphon valve within a foot of the engine, and then it has to be a flexible line that can't be any longer than, I don't know, such and such, and it has to be able to burn at, I don't know, like 400 degrees for an hour or something. Okay, so it's very hard to get leaks, and if you do get a leak, it ends up in the boat. Okay, and then as long as you don't turn the bilge pump on. And there are assorbent mats. There are assorbent mats that we sell that you put in the boat that they absorb. They don't absorb water. They only absorb gas and oil.
Can the public come have their boat launched?
No, we do not have a public ramp.
So I know you have a well where you're lowering the boats into.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
but if I'm bringing my boat into the area, I can't. Oh, hey, there's a place I'm gonna pull in and.
Right. Right. Winnisquam Marine, at none of our locations do we have a public ramp. Okay. At one point across the bay in Belmont, when Sarge's General Store was there and Mirsky's before that, yes, we did have a public ramp, but it just got too busy. We have at that facility, we have 7 technicians. So, everyone was fighting for a double wide ramp. So we haven't had, and it's posted right at our location across the street. But no, if you wanted your boat launched, you'd have to go to Laconia to Water Street to the public ramp. Yeah. The state's done a pretty good job going around the lakes and getting a public ramp for public access. And we do support that when the Squaw Marine does.
So I guess when you get a new client who brings a boat to the facility, what is the process as far as like inspections and cleaning and making sure there's no existing milfoil or anything like that on the boat, because you don't know where it's been, where it's come from.
Right. Milfoil is actually the easy one to see, okay, because it's usually on the trailer axles after they've pulled it out, okay. Some of the harder ones, there have been some introductions of zebra mussel, so so those boats should be run dry before they're put into the water. In other words, you turn the key and they fire up, and that's done. Anything new, and we don't get anything from salt water, and if we do, we would certainly be doing that over the wash basin. Okay, that's why. And I just put this winter, last fall, I put a new wash basin over in Winnipesaukee. And they cost around $80,000.
And then as far as like the slope of the site, does water currently drain down the property towards the lake or towards the road?
So I'm gonna let Cindy do that.
Currently, it all drains towards the lake. From here, pretty much the entire site drains this way.
Okay, and so since you are planning to do new concrete pads and new pavement, are you going to be doing a, slope it back towards the road?
For the entire site?
Okay, so there's grass in between all of what we're doing in the lake. So any water that comes down there goes over that grass. That's how the engineers design it. The ramp does pitch back. The ramp does onto the grass. Okay, but there's not a lot that you can do. It runs back. The ramp is 16 feet wide and 12 feet long, and that pitches back. So if the forklift pulls onto that, any water that might drip off of that runs back onto the grass.
Okay, and then as part of the repaving, are there like existing, storm drains or anything like that on the property, or will new ones be put in connected to the sewer system? Or
There's, for the property in general, like
all of the, the
rest of
pavement
it.
area, the parking area, obviously not the grass portion, but.
Yeah. So the proposal right now is for the roof runoff to go to shed towards the property line on each side. So that'll handle the roof runoff. That'll go into drip edges and then swales that bring the runoff down towards the lake. The pavement and the concrete will slope in the same direction it currently is sloping. In addition, there's less impervious area now than there was. There's less impervious area in the proposed conditions than there are in the existing conditions. So less runoff, if you will get to the water, to the lake.
Okay, I guess my only concern is it has nothing to do with the buildings itself. It has to do with all of the paved area,
The
because
paved
that is
area.
the majority of, the space on the property. And so that's for the majority of rainwater will, collect and run.
There's there's less paved, there's less, like what Cindy said, there's less impervious area in our plan than there is now. So there's more green area in this plan than what currently exists. All, I might add, in digging, when we got our permit to do the forklift ramp and around there, this is all sandy. It's all sand around here, and it absorbs it at an unbelievably fast rate. We haven't had, there's never been any issues, again, with our two abutters. And with the existing plan, one side is like, I don't know, like 3.2 feet is how much grass is in between us, and the other thing is like 4 point something. And now it's going to be total of 10 feet between the drip edge and the grassy swale. So she's increased that area.
Okay, thank you.
Up here, it's going from 75% to 71.6% impervious. I don't know what that is in feet because I'm not a mathematician.
Yeah.
looks like 1,600 square feet less.
I guess, does the property have any issues with like pooling or ponding of water currently on the paved surfaces, or do you have any like water issues within the buildings themselves as far as, water pooling and then, penetrating foundations, basements, what have you?
The button doesn't work all the time. Zero issues. Absolutely zero. We had to re-roof the tall part there 10 years ago, but that was history. And we really don't, if you read the letters from our two abutters, Winnisquam Marine works very hard to be a good neighbor. And we have, and I think that's why Sailview and Shady Grove both I asked them, but they're both happy to do it because we've again worked to be neighbors. Again, I think Cindy's the expert, but this water doesn't make it. It gets to the grass and then it's gone. And that's worked very well. And again, I'm going to tell you again, there's no service to be done on this facility. Okay, we will not be repairing boats on this facility. We're not set up. There's no workshops. There's no storage, I don't know, oils or chemicals or whatever. And if we were going to, we'd be storing them properly. Because we've spent money on that at my other facilities. It's all double wall tanks, and they're away from the waterfront. And we've spent more money to make sure that things don't go wrong, because sometimes things go wrong when you don't plan it. So if you do things right, things tend to go better.
How
Thank
much
you.
activity is there on site during the winter months?
During the winter months, I'm going to say there is going to be no activity, other than occasionally us coming over to maybe grab a boat to bring it over to the service shop on the other side of the bay.
I'm just trying to get an idea of the amount of snow storage. We keep it.
Are you going to plow it?
Yes, we plow
When
it.
you plow in the winter, do you clear the entire lot, or do you just clear enough for, say, emergency vehicles or yourself? In other words, are you putting a whole season's worth of snow back there?
So there's two residences there that we own. And so we have to plow for them. But no, we don't plow wall. We don't. They are.
Oh,
They
wow.
are.
So you are just plowing a path, if you will.
What we need for access.
Okay.
Yep. But it's not like emergency. You know, it's so that our tenants can get in and out for sure.
But you're not
Yeah.
plowing the entire.
No, no, we don't at any of our sites, not in the winter.
Okay.
It's, I mean, the guys would probably like to, okay, because they think it's fun, but there's no reason to.
I didn't think I'd ever seen it all cleared out in the winter.
I don't
No,
think I
no, no, it
Just a
hasn't been.
path. Okay.
Yeah.
Costs
you.
too much.
Yeah. Again, the guys like plowing, but there's a limit.
Where's your second handicap space? I don't see it on there.
Have one, we can put a second one.
You're required
we
to
need
have two.
two?
Yes.
Isn't it by
It's
number
1 to
of,
25 spaces, you need one. 26 to 50, you need two. One
Okay.
of which must be van accessible.
I believe you, I'm not going to argue with you. So
Sorry.
the one in the front.
It's the one thing I like thump my chest about. I don't know why, but I always have. I don't know.
I apologize for overlooking
No,
that.
no, that's fine. I'm just asking.
So this is the van accessible one. This one is big enough to be van accessible up front here.
Right.
We can put a second one down here. There's plenty of room for it.
I'm only really leery of it now because
Yeah.
I have a wife that has a placard now.
Okay.
And so I do pay attention to that. And
No,
years
that's
past, it was
fair.
just one of those little things that I've always
Totally fair.
nitpicked. I don't know why.
Yep.
Ever since I've been on the playing board, it's like everyone grabs
it's
something.
a black.
That's what I grab.
Yeah, at our other site on Winnipesaukee where we have, again, 170 some odd valets, we run 2 golf carts because we have a lot of people and there's not a lot of parking right there, but we have 3, handicap spots that when they come in, they're shuttled right down there. There's cones blocking them off so nobody can sneak into them. We get them right down there.
The fire department had asked us for a dry hydrant. So that's not on those plans, but we're proposing to put it down here by the big cottage to satisfy their question and need for that.
Good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
So is there currently no like hydrant
That's
on
correct.
the property? Yeah. So
That's correct.
There would be.
There's no hydrants in that end of town.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
I used to be a fire commissioner, so that's why I'm like, okay.
We're showing 2 dumpsters. Ed only really needs 1. Those will be located up by the bathrooms where the existing bathrooms are here. And then
And it said it was being fenced, right?
we'll fence it. Yes.
Doesn't have to be.
I read that.
What else? There will be no changes to the water, no changes to the sewer. And drainage is into the grassy areas, as we had talked about. We added the dry hydrant, pedestrian circulation, as Ed said, we'll put crosswalks along the front of each of these buildings for the customers. Site lighting will be wall packs on the buildings, shining down and dark sky compliant so that the neighbors don't see it. And there's no proposed changes for signage. Correct? You didn't decide to do a sign?
No.
Yeah, okay. No proposed changes to the signage. That's what I had for notes. All the boats are winterized at another facility, which is what we had talked about before. So
Do you have trash cans on the property
Plans over
where
here.
the parking is, or so people can throw stuff away when they're going to the boats or getting off the boats?
there's some on the dock, is my understanding.
So the ZBA asked about that also. And we used a great big roll around. I think they're actually 64-gallon cans, so they hold a lot. And we leave them right at the dock so as people walk away from have to make it really easy. Otherwise, the dumpster becomes a mess. So we have cans right where, because there's 2 docks, so there's 2 entries onto the lawn, and we'll roll them right there. So it's really easy.
All right. Thank you.
Did you want to take a look at the plans since they're on this?
No, I looked at them online, but thank you.
Anybody?
That's all my mind.
All right. Is there, since I can't see, is there anyone in the public that has any comments? I can't see if there's anyone online, so
Fair way for me
I thought it
to
said
fix
there
that
was
for
one,
you.
but I don't know if that's
I don't know.
planning.
We are signed in, which is
Do
which
I
is
have to
the
stop
one.
sharing?
Is it just us?
I just have to stop sharing? All right. Where? Did that help?
Everyone?
This
No,
is
it's just
one by
yeah,
that
it's just
person.
us. That's us.
Okay.
That's us. Okay. I just want to make sure there's no one to the public, so I'll close it to the public
Great.
and bring it back to the board. Is there entertain a motion or more discussion?
I'll make a motion to accept. I'll make a motion to accept. This is a site plan, right? Planning board case 24-09, map U01, lot 13.
With the amendment to add a second handicap spot.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
Do we also need to
Application for the permit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd have to do the conditional
groundwater
ground
protection?
use. Conditional ground use. Conditional use.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is. So I'm looking at
It's the same application, so it's
It's the same case, I guess, but
Okay.
different application.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept the application for conditional use permit for the groundwater protection.
Second.
motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Thank you.
That would have been interesting. They can get approval and they can't do anything.
I didn't realize I had that much till I drove out there.
I
I
know,
mean, I knew they
I
were
don't
there
see
now.
all those buildings when I drive.
Minute
by.
time?
They're not
What's
going
that?
up there.
Minute
I thought they were home.
I don't know.
Not that we have
Oh,
them.
no, I see them on the side.
Yeah, we're
but
sent to
they're
us.
Yeah, just we don't have them physically.
No, I don't have them physically, but no. What, do we have something for the record?
Well, you asked to have a Mylar to sign and
Oh,
Yours.
I don't
Which
think we
one's
heard that.
yours?
do we have a Mylar?
Do we have a Mylar to sign?
He was ejecting it.
Well, they were.
I did not create a Mylar yet. I wanted to make sure it was approved first. So we can make the Mylar for you with those changes on it. And then,
If you can just let us know what it's in, because I don't believe our next meeting is until the end of August. 13th? Oh, I thought it was the 23rd.
Huh.
What do I know? All right, I'll take
We
it.
don't have another meeting this month?
No, we only meet once this summer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You're more than welcome to come here if you'd like, but you'll be alone.
I probably will. I wonder where everybody is.
13.
Yeah.
About my standard these days.
Here you go, my dear.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
night. All right. Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of June 25th, 2024. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes?
I have
They were-
one amendment. There's an extra S in my name at the very last motion.
Which one's the extra S?
I actually checked your name, so I don't know.
On page 1.
Page 1,
I didn't
3/4
get
down,
notes.
everything else looks like it's spelled right. There's an S.
Dimbis.
It's probably from when it was S. It had S before.
Got to get that computer to learn her last name.
I know. The rest was all correct that I could see.
I'll make a motion to accept with that amendment, with that correction.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Is there any other business to come before the board this evening?
Have we heard anything from our public works director? And I know it hasn't rained.
Good
Well,
this week, I
except
think.
for a couple
Little
of
teeny
times.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we have not.
Okay.
What about the issue with that landscaping place? We have approval for the attorney or?
He's been on vacation.
So,
okay.
we sent out a letter from the attorney drew up a letter. We sent out the letter. The owner of the property contacted me, and also the leasee of the property came in and spoke and asked what he could do to rectify the issue. We explained that he needed a site plan and a change of use. We went over it yesterday with him. He took the necessary forms, although I don't know what he's going to do it or not. He was a little bit more positive in his approach. There is on July 16th an appeal of the administrative decision. The abutter is appealing it with his attorney on our initial decision to grant him the ability to run a business there, and on our decision. So the leasee understood a little bit better the difficulty that we have now to make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. He needs to abide by the setbacks and his change of use with his new inventive way of his rentals and so on and so forth. So he will be attending that July 16th zoning meeting, hopefully, and get a better understanding of what's really needed.
He hasn't blocked off that dirt that's right on the Route 3 yet either.
We've asked him to do that twice. I
Yeah,
can't.
that's really close.
Has
It's
he?
not within the set. It is within the setback as well. It needs to be 30 feet, and it's not 30 feet.
Did the owner file a new business registration form with the town?
The owner filed a registration form with the town, which was accepted by the application, if you remember.
Okay.
That's what the administrative appeal is about,
Thank you.
because there was no change apparently, and it was misrepresented. But the owner of the property is who filed the
The new business
registration.
registration
The
form.
name has not changed. So there's nothing to newly register anything for the name. The name hasn't changed.
Wouldn't the lesser be the new business though? Wouldn't the individual leasing the property need to fill out the new business registration form as they're operating in town?
The person that is operating the business put in an application as the leasee
Okay.
and said he was doing XXXX, and there was a lot more than he was doing.
Got it. Thank you.
Right. Now he has to come back and to you folks and say, this is what I plan on doing. It is a permitted use. What he wants to do it is a permitted use. He just needs to come in with the site plan and come before you and get it accepted.
Have we heard from DOT as far as his driveway permit?
No, not yet. I can send out an email and ask.
It's an increase of traffic.
Correct.
If you will, if he's conducting more business there, and it's a very dangerous not intersection, but driveway and corner.
Area, yeah.
He is no longer doing manufacturing there at all. The manufacturing was just there for the sake of doing that huge loam pile. So the machine's gone and that's
Is he
over.
renting equipment still?
The
Still there.
equipment that is there, he hasn't yet, but it's there if somebody wanted to rent it, it's there. He hasn't advertised it yet because he got the letter.
Okay.
There's also another violation up here that I asked them to come into a site plan with you folks, what used to be Breakout Tool, and next door is United Rental for the trailers. United Rental has an agreement with the original owners. The original owners own both lots, but they're two separate lots. And United Rental rents one lot with the office, and out back they do repairs and things. And then in the back of what used to be Breakout Tool, which is now B&H Auto, out in the back lot, they cleared, leveled, and put crushed rock down. They're storing trailers out there. That is being rented from their landlord, which owns both lots. But they can't do that because they have to have this B&H Auto needs to come in for a site plan with you folks for that lot. So they understand it. They're coming in. They're going to do the necessary paperwork to come in and do it. They were unaware that they needed to do it.
Okay, so since opening, B&H Auto has started.
It's not B&H Auto. It has nothing to do with B&H Auto at all. It's United Rentals is renting the back lot, if you would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. It's nothing to do with B&H Auto. It's owned by the same person that owns both lots. They're renting from the same landlord.
Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's another one that's coming up to you folks soon, probably in August.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second, non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
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 Wait, I have a question though that I'd like to debate.
You want?